No problem at all. All right. Welcome to the Life of Joey Calvo Podcast. I'm Joey Calvo. First of all, happy Juneteenth Day to the African American community. And also, please continue to help the victims of the California wildfires. They do need our help. So anytime, anything that you can help with, gift cards, furniture, clothing, please reach out to those agencies that are helping those victims. Today, our guest is Richard Blank. Sorry, I get so many. I get so many emails. The one that before we started, I had gotten an email from a Michael who is a PR rep, and I just mixed the two together. So, Richard, I apologize for that. Richard is a former Philadelphian. He's lucky to get out of the city. And he was actually on the outskirts. He was in Montgomery County in Abington and has started a call center in Costa Rica. And so and what was ironic enough, before he came on, I'm watching The Price is Right, and sure enough, they're giving away a trip to Costa Rica. And of course, the name of the hotel that the contestant had a chance to win in the showcase was Pura Vida. So it was just ironic, that this would come up now. But yeah, Richard came from Abington, Pennsylvania, and he started a company from scratch in Costa Rica and has been CEO of Costa Rica's call center since 2008. He's earned 7 figures annually, which has grown to 150 employees and trained over 10,000 telemarketers. So, Richard, welcome to the podcast, first of all.
Thanks, Joey. So happy to be with you today. And it's a life of Joey Calvo. Well, I'm part of today's life of yours. Yeah, so let's do this.
It's all life with Richard. So explain who Richard Blank is, the whole reason why you're on. Explain yourself. Tell your story.
Hi, Joey. I'm a long shot from Northeast Philly. Yeah. When you used to stay home from school and watch Gilligan's Island, well, I wanted to live that, especially with Marianne, Ginger, and Lovey. So, when I had this 1 in a million opportunity, I was 27 years old, and I was given a chance to come to Costa Rica for just a couple months and work at my friend's center. I decided to stay, learn it from the inside out, and then 18 years ago, I threw my hat in the ring and started the company, and here we are today. But it was built on momentum. I was a Spanish major in college, and my favorite class at the proud Abington High School was Spanish as well. So when you do that dedicated practice, Joey, you go above and beyond what the classroom friends and teachers expect of you. Don't be surprised if you can't go the distance and win. And so I think I was doing it the right way.
Okay. All right. So you left Abington, Pennsylvania. You left Northeast Philly / Abington at the age of 27.
18. I went to Arizona.
Oh, 18. You went to, okay. All right. Well, it says 27 in the bio. Right.
Well, leaving the country, that is. But I just wanted to make sure it wasn't.
Oh, okay. All right. So you left Philly at 18. You went to Arizona. Yeah. And so you went from what now is about to be a heat wave here in Philly to what's now a heat wave in Arizona, where their temperatures are in the hundreds. And so you went there. And what did you do while you were in Arizona during that time?
I had one of the best times of my entire life. Think about it, Tucson, especially when the basketball team was winning. So, but I tell you what, it was the first winter that when you didn't get cold, see the slush, and KYW canceled your school, you knew you were somewhere different. And I had a lot of Spanish outside the classroom. So in essence, it really was a match made in heaven. And I'll tell you something else, my friend. When you're paying in-state tuition in Arizona and the cost of living, I think I was being very responsible for my parents' money back in the day because they were willing to pay.
We lost them. All right. And this is all due to connection issues, so we apologize for the inconvenience on this. Hopefully, we'll get Richard back shortly. And this time, it's not T-Mobile that caused it. Usually it's T-Mobile that knocks out the Wi-Fi connection and does this, but actually it's not even this. So hopefully, like I said, we'll get Richard back momentarily. So we're gonna be patient. Uh-oh. And if you do have, when Richard does come back, here we go. He's going to try to come back on. If you do have any questions for Richard, please ask them in the comments so we can show them. All questions, those are clean and legit. You're welcome to post them in the comments. Like I said, hopefully we'll get Richard back momentarily. Here we go. Let me get him back. Bear with me, folks.
Well, Joey, that's a prime example of second world.
Yeah. Usually when the internet goes out, it's usually here on this end because I have the T-Mobile home internet router right next to the computer.
Yeah.
So usually that goes out and that freezes everything up. But this time it was on your side. So you were
my bad. I'm sorry, audience.
No, that's all right. No, you were a frozen picture, and I'm like just going on and saying at least it wasn't T-Mobile that caused it this time.
Gotcha.
So you were mentioning about the time you were in Arizona, you were being careful with your parents' money and being cost effective. So of course, one thing of having a business is making it cost effective. So continue on with your story in reference to Arizona.
And let me ask you a question, Joey. I mean, haven't you ever been under pressure to choose a certain career or back in the day to study something? All my friends are doctors, attorneys, and engineers. I didn't have the structure, discipline, or maturity for that.
Well,
but
actually, I can't say I didn't. I mean, I was a math major at Franklin High School in Somerset, New Jersey. Cool. And I wanted to be a teacher. And so I actually did live the dream for a short amount of time. Mm-hmm. I mean, how most people in high school, when they graduate, you get a summer vacation.
You went right to work.
3 days. And I went right to community college for summer courses. So I had to get enrolled in summer school at Raritan Valley, which is formerly Somerset County College, folks, for those in the Jersey area that don't know that. That's when Somerset and Hunterdon merged together in reference to it back then. And that's 1989, folks. That's matter of fact. What's even ironic is this coming Monday, would be 36 years since I graduated high school. To the day. It still surprises me that I actually can remember all that. But like I said, most people had 3 months to before, or 3 months before they were starting off college. I had 3 days, and at the same time, I did. My father was a volunteer fireman for 50 plus years, and at one time he was chief of the firehouse that we belonged to.
Cool.
So I attempted to live his dream and become a volunteer firefighter, and that didn't last too long because, again, I was out in college, in summer school, and the drive between when there was a call was 30 minutes. So I never made it. By the time I got there, the fire trucks had been gone already. Mm-hmm. So I just sat at the fire station just waiting in case they were calling for backup. But outside of that, it didn't really last long. But then after I got in between that time, though, I was a substitute teacher at Franklin, but somehow my anxiety and depression kind of overwhelmed. I think that's what really got me on it, but it overwhelmed me to the point where I couldn't handle teaching. I mean, most substitute teachers, they say, "Oh, this is your assignment, get to work," and they sit down for the whole period. I was going to attempt to try to actually teach, and one day, I'm going to make this story short, and hopefully my nephew is not watching this.
Probably.
But one day I was a substitute teacher, and I had one of his classes.
Oh.
And I walked in the door, and when I walked in, my nephew looked at me, and he's like, "Oh my!" He was like this. He's like, "Oh my God, I got my uncle for a substitute." But they all turned around, and I don't know how many friends he made off of that day, but he's like, "Yeah, your uncle's cool," And I was like, "Okay," like you're supposed to be doing your work, but they probably just like had a free period, literally had a free period off of me. But like I said, everything had fallen through on reference to that. So, yeah. And then I started working out, and then a couple of years later, I was doing taxi work, working for a taxi company in Somerset. And that's what got me the idea of wanting to start. Originally, it was started as a taxi company in Jersey. And then what happened was I had gone through some failed relationships, and they all cheated, just to let you know. And then, I met someone here in Philly and got married in Jersey. She lived in Jersey with me for a little bit, and then right after 9/11 happened, matter of fact, in October it'll be 24 years since I moved out here. But we moved to Philadelphia. We moved to her parents' house, and so I was like, okay, maybe I can take this idea of the taxi into Philly. Well, I didn't know about you need a medallion. I know in New York it was a medallion, but I didn't know about Philly. So when I went to research Philly in reference to taxis, just for a medallion, folks, back in 2001 was $250,000. I said, no way in hell I could raise $250,000. So that idea went out the door. So I turned around. I said, all right, let's go to a limousine, company, because but you still had to go through the the parking authority and everything. So, so I looked into that, and my credit scores were not the greatest, still aren't the greatest now. So it went from limousines to the point where I go to the casinos. I go to Lake City. Okay.
There you go.
So I turned around. I started taking the buses to Atlantic City. I was like, you know what? This is actually interesting. Making money off of this. Having people go down on a bus and getting $20, $25 in slot play, and they're paying $20, $25 to take the bus, down for a round trip. So a little after 2000, between 2001 and 2008, it went from limousine to casino buses. And my now ex-wife was like, "You're not going to do it. Not going to happen." Yada, yada, yada. And as much as I worked on it, she was right. It didn't pan out because nobody could fund me because of my credit scores. And then she wound up cheating, and hell came over. So I was at my lowest point at that point. So I started rebuilding back in 2009. 2014, I got my company. I got the EIN. I had gotten it incorporated in Pennsylvania at the time, but credit scores still got me nowhere. So I
Right.
couldn't even get the funding. 2024, I turned around and I rebranded the company because I was going off and on and still wanting to do it. In 2024, I rebranded the company name, but it's actually two companies incorporated in two different states. So it's Calvo's Corporation here in Pennsylvania now, and they couldn't let me use Calvo's Corporation in New Jersey, so I had to do Calvo's Transportation Corporation. But still, at the same time, credit scores are not helping because they're still under 600. So, how did you get your, you said you started your company in 2008 from scratch. And I just gave my whole life in 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. How did you build your company from scratch?
Well, before I tell you my trade secrets, I just want to thank you for sharing a little bit about your life. And I'm sorry what these women did to you, but as the famous Vanilla Ice once said, drop that zero and get with the hero. So it's good for you. As Mike Damone said, in fast times, your toes are still tapping. So just keep moving forward and having that positive attitude, Joey.
Yeah. So, we tend to do that still.
But you're good looking, man. Don't worry about it. Just put, slick the hair back, put on some Drakkar, and you're good to go, man.
Yeah. You know, the last time I had your car, oh God, that was like Stone Ages ago.
It was probably 89 when you graduated high school. Listen, brother, go back to the basics, the things that worked out back in the day,
Oh, yeah. Oh, I was kind of still single back then, too. But in reference, but of course, he mentions the Drakkar was actually my favorite cologne back then.
Yeah. You look like a Drakkar guy.
Yeah. Well, thank you. But yeah. So continue on. So explain
Joey. Let's talk about people that overextend themselves. I couldn't do it. I had to pace. And so in my industry, I was capable of renting a turnkey station at a blended center, like an internet cafe. Instead of buying the plane, I'm getting a seat. And I was doing that for a month. And I did that for about 2.5 years till I had the capital and the clients. And then I rented space. And in the call center industry, there is rotation, not only of agents, but of companies. So instead of paying the 80% import tax on electronics, I was buying used Dell computers for a fraction of the cost. So responsibly, I was able to build out row by row, and I could buy server room equipment. And I did that for 6 years. And then, a bunch of years ago, we purchased land, put on a 3rd floor, and I'm from the 80s, so I like neon lights and marquees and Art Deco. And so I put the building out there, and I'm a collector of pinball machines and jukeboxes, so I like to have a fun game
I read that.
Yeah, and so I made the mixture because English is our first language. Anyone that speaks a second language, Joey, it bears the mark of higher education. And so you and I having this Northeast home court advantage, we can give them some special sauce. We can balance their bike in regards to grammar and vocab. And next thing you know, you teach them to pack a punch. And my friend, this was a 1 in a million shot. I got very lucky to have this. The stars were aligned. It's a competitive industry, but you know what it's like in that Northeast grit. You know what it's like to go the distance. And so I took that work ethic and how we were raised and I brought it here. And fortunately for me, my language and my good intentions and open-mindedness, it allowed me to have a wonderful run that's continuing to this day.
Okay. All right. So, So you were able to get everything secondhand, like now these days in reference to like what I would need for my business. And I've actually reached out to the city of Philadelphia. So I've reached out to them, and I even had I don't know now, being you of the 80s could remember this. I actually had on this podcast late last month, a very infamous gentleman. I would call him a legend now these days.
Okay.
He was kind of the early, when infomercials started to come out back in the late 80s, early 90s. And you could recognize this gentleman very easily All you have to do is look at the suit he was wearing. That should give you somewhat of a hint. Okay. And his suits, most of the time, were all question marks.
Oh, okay. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Niall, what is his name? The
That's
scientist. Right.
Yeah. He was on this podcast last month.
Oh, that's great.
So if you get a chance, you've got to go to the YouTube channel, and in the live section, you'll see Life with Matthew Lesko. And we did
Lesko, that's what his name is.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. And so he gives some hints, and he had actually, I actually belong to his group. He has a LescoHelp.com, so I belong to that, and I actually picked up some things from it, and so I reached out to the city, and one thing, pardon me, one thing about the city they are really strict about.
What's that?
Is if you want to operate a business in Philly, you have to really have a Philly address. If you turn around and say you have a business address in Jersey, they don't touch you with a 500-foot pole. Literally, they don't touch you.
Organic Philly Flyers and Eagles fans.
Yeah. Oh yes, of course. You know they won the Super Bowl again.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
of course I do.
Yeah, and then so I had to go through it again. This time I had to use my home address, and it actually worked out. I had gotten emails. Well, by the time, of course, I got to them, of course, they were like, "Oh, we need your credit scores." I was like, "I know where this is going," So they're like, but they're like, if you're taking a loan out for for $7,500, you don't need a cosigner. I was like, okay. So $7,500 would have made a small difference. But of course, I didn't get that. Then I came across some other places that have grants, but you have to be very, very careful, because the one that I did reach out to, I actually did get a grant. But here's the thing: when you see those advertised on Facebook and Instagram for about grants, you got to be very, very careful, because if they give you a code or whatever, okay, that code is their referral code. Well, what happened was I got a $10,000 grant. They took $1,000 off the top to give it to the person that referred me. So when I went to go attempt to use the money, you had to have $10,000 to take out. So they're like, "Oh, reach out to the person that sent you the code." And I did, and they turned around like, "Oh, well, because I was in the negative, they took, they put the money, they took, it was under what I would need to help you with." I'm like, yeah, I knew this. I knew where this was going. So I actually have $9,000 sitting there, but I can't touch it because I still need like $1,000. And then they charge you $20 to take it out on top of that. So I was like, I ain't going anywhere. Then
you got to buy someone lunch,
Yeah. And then I just came across another one recently.
Right.
But to reach out, they're like, "Well, your bank isn't part of one of our, where the money gets dispersed to. You have to open up this account." So you go to this bank that they tell you to go to, and reaching out to them is like, how could I say,
chewing glass. Sorry.
No. Philadelphia being cleaned up in 2001.
Yeah.
Not getting done. I mean, I reached out, and I was reaching out, and it was like nobody. I mean, then they come back, "Oh, you need $100 to open up your account." Okay, well, when I have the $100, where do I send it to? And they still haven't gotten back to me. That was almost a week ago, in reference to it.
Well, be persistent.
and this was this is $100,000 grant. This would have gotten everything I needed done. The rest of the licensing I needed done, which is the USDOT, the PAPUC, a storefront rental, etc. Nothing. They haven't gotten back to me on it.
Well, patience is a virtue, Joey, my man.
Yeah.
You know that. I don't want you to lose your hair like me. Yeah. So just take deep breaths.
Yeah. I've been doing that, but at the same time, I'm like, it put me into it because I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression in 2009. So I've gotten to the point where like I actually did an actual podcast, and yes, I'm going to stress this again to those who normally watch this podcast. I did a podcast on what an actual friend would be like. Okay. And so in reference to that, I turned around and I literally said, if you are a real friend and you can quote me on it, you don't have to quote me on it. Take it whatever way anybody goes with it. They can go screw themselves if they're not happy with it. But this is how it goes. A friend to me is someone who actually physically, spends time with you once in a while. Not every day. It doesn't have to be every day. But at least once in a while. Like maybe once a month, once a week, something like that. You get to spend physical time with. 2, this podcast actually has a GoFundMe page. So if you look under upgraded expansion of the podcast to new heights, that's the podcast GoFundMe page. And what I wanted to do also was take this podcast and expand it because the computer that I'm using right now is out of date. I also wanted to do like meet and greets, like have former guests of the podcast come down to Atlantic City and, get up close and personal with people and, signing autographs and so on. Yeah. I wanted to do that. And plus, have them have a little, give them a little quote unquote vacation on top of it.
Of course.
So, it's actually in the ticker down the bottom, the link for the GoFundMe page.
Joey, I have a thought, if you don't mind, because I'm your buddy. How am I going to fly up to Jersey once a month? I mean, I could, but maybe I can't. So you got to think of it like this: you can't hold my feet to the fire and make that a deal breaker. That's not fair to some of your friends that live far away. That's number one.
Oh yeah. No,
I'm speaking for your friends that can't see you once a month, and you want to give them a hug and hang out and get a cheesesteak. So give those cats a pass. And I think also a real friend remembers things about you. Mm-hmm. That's all. They remember not just your birthdays, but they remember the things that you love the most and things you shared about. And you know what, Joey? Yeah. The fact that you open up so much to me and your audience, it makes you vulnerable. But your real friends, the ones that truly love you, they'll accept you for who you are, my man. Yeah. So you keep doing that. Yeah. And through natural filtration, the people will come to you that you want in your life.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've given. There's a few. I'll give a pass to some. But you can't give them a pass forever, in a way.
All right. Well, listen. When I'm in Jersey, I'll call you. But until that time, I get a pass.
No.
Oh my God!
I understand. No, I understand.
You're doing
that.
Jersey grilling. It's not right.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember, like I said, I'm a Jersey guy. So everything is.
Go to Margate and Ventnor and relax a little bit. Go get a Dino's.
No. I know. You know what? I've rarely been. The only time I think I've been to Margate is walking the Atlantic City Boardwalk all the way to the end.
Oh, you got to go see Lucy, 9600.
I know.
It's beautiful there. That's where all my buddies are. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I know. That's one thing. And another matter of fact, this weekend in Wildwood, they're having the Barefoot Country Festival.
That's so
with
cool.
Jelly Roll and other Jason Aldean, I think, is down there, and so on. That's the whole weekend. I mean,
you got a fun shore. Jersey can hold its own with the shore. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, and especially in Atlantic City. The last actual interesting thing that I saw at Atlantic City was back in 22, 23. This is when Revel had closed and had been rebranded a couple times into now what's called Ocean.
Okay.
Well, I actually got free tickets to see, and jaws are going to drop. But I actually got the chance to see Ian Anderson and Jethro Tull for free.
Good show.
But here is the thing. Here is the thing when it came to Ian Anderson and Jethro Tull.
Yeah.
You could not take a picture of him because if a camera went off, security was right on top of you, and literally, I almost got thrown out because I was trying to. I mean, people were like, sneaking it. Of course, now you have your cameras on your cell phones where you can get a picture of the stage and stuff. So some people were almost getting away with it. So I was like, if I turn the flash off, so I went to take a picture, and security was like, if you do that again, I'm going to have to remove you. I was like, okay. Yeah,
because you're a big boy. They don't want to throw you out.
Yeah.
It would be easy.
Yeah. I mean, but, in the beginning, when, when the cell phones were coming, where the camera phones were coming out,
right?
You're in a casino, they wouldn't let you take a picture of a slot machine, even, now you can take pictures of slot machines, and I have a couple posted on this YouTube channel showing, where I've won like $200 or $400, different amounts, on Mr. Cashman machines, because that's all I ever played. But
Cashman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
that's great, Joey. You're funny.
So I literally wanted to get a picture. I was like, getting to see Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull is like the biggest thing in the world, But of course, but yeah, but that's what in reference going back to and I'm sorry to tangent off of it.
No, it's your show, Joey. It's on your. It's the life of.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be the life of you, not me.
Yeah, it's the life of us, brother. You're so comfortable. You're telling me good stories about you. I'm happy to hear it. No one wants to hear from me.
Okay. To all you naysayers that keep complaining about me bitching about my life, you just heard the truth. Okay, you just heard that. Okay, so shut the fuck up on it. And if you don't like what you're hearing, don't comment. Yeah. Because it's supposed to be the life of the. Because I get the backlash. You're supposed to let your guests talk, not you.
Yeah, but we're having fun, Joey. What do they want? Then let them come on the show and do their thing.
Actually, one of them that does say that has been.
Entonces.
Yeah, he has.
What other questions do you have?
Yeah,
maybe I can help your audience. Maybe I'll get a question from them.
Yeah, believe me, I would have known if there's people on here right now because I got a little counter up there that shows if anybody's viewing it. So
0.0.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't one at one time, but they come off. They come on and off. Like
I should have told my mother. She would have been here. Thanking you, Joey, for having Richie on your show.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So, but. Like you said, you started the company from scratch. You went out and got everything secondhand. And I mean, it's
not every single thing. Some stuff in the server room you gotta buy brand new, and the headsets. But no, the chairs sometimes. If companies go out of business, you get a cachet of this stuff. It's great.
Yeah. Well, like I'm saying in reference to what I'm looking at, in reference to mine. Yeah, I've been looking at used MCI D4505s which
Mm-hmm.
are the D buses that you see New Jersey Transit use for. We actually have a viewer. Let's see if they stay on though.
Oh, rock on. There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yes. But they.
Three's not a crowd.
Yeah, it's not. But in reference to what I'm looking for the for the casino bus service, these they get off. Like they come on and they're like, oh, he's boring, off, something like that.
15 seconds? Damn.
Yeah,
It's like the Gong Show,
or,
you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh God, I remember watching the Gong Show. Oh God. I think J.P. Morgan's the only one that's still alive out of them. But back to in reference to the casino bus service, the New Jersey Transit buses that they use now, they're using other buses besides this one, but they use the MCI D4505s.
Okay.
But they're commuters. They don't have the bathrooms on it because you have to have bathrooms for the ones for casinos. They require it. And so I looked at some used ones, and they actually managed very well. I actually rode on one. I rode on a couple because Peter Pan has a couple. Greyhound has a couple. And matter of fact, in reference to transit, Del has one for Dart. Has a couple for Dart. And I wrote on them, and they really handle very well, in reference to it. So, but most of when it comes to insurance, they're like, well, we're not gonna insure a 20-year-old bus, if anything, you may have to go 10, and the 15s are the newfangled, new versions of what they are now, and especially the J's. I mean, the J's are awesome. The J4500s are really awesome buses. I mean, I always ride in them when I go from New York to Bethlehem, or even if I take a Peter Pan bus. Sometimes I wind up riding on a J. And I mean, they're great buses. Don't get me wrong, but the older ones actually do manage. So like I said, getting the funding for them was the hard. How did you manage to get funding to build your company from scratch?
I didn't.
You didn't.
I acted my wage and I paced it. I paid for the first couple of years. I paid for the station, the salary, the benefits, and made my margin. If it was a good month or whatever, at least I was earning something. Mm-hmm. And then it became too expensive to pay per seat because the margins were there. And so, as I mentioned, but I tell you what, I wasn't wearing all the hats, Joey.
Yeah.
This was not a home court advantage. So I had to hire a local attorney, accountant, chief technical officer, human resources director, people that knew the labor laws in the industry. And think of us as like the trunk of the tree. I needed the branches and the roots. That's how I was able to expand, kind of like yourself, Joey. When you have 10 buses, how are you going to drive all 10? You're going to need some mechanics, accountants, and drivers. And so I didn't want to spread myself thin. I know where my strengths lie. And so once again, I was able to do this where I didn't have a mortgage, I didn't have a bad partner, and I wasn't desperate for an account where I had to compromise my ethics or values, because look what Hollywood does with telemarketing. And, we don't do sports books, casinos, stocks, pharmacies, or sweepstakes, but we're in a strict Catholic country. I just want to make sure the kids can go home and tell their parents what they do. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was saying I did telemarketing too. I actually did it for newspapers.
Oh, you'd be great at that. What were you selling, Joey?
Believe it or not, I was doing subscriptions for Star Ledger.
Okay.
And then that was 5 days a week. And then on Saturdays, what we did was we were giving away 4 weeks of Sundays, Sunday subscriptions. And I mean, those you were given like dimes a dozen, but actually in reference to technique, in reference to getting people to want a subscription to the Star Ledger back then.
Soft skills.
Well, not every day was a soft skill for me. Now, there was times I'm lucky if I got one.
Well, no, it's not that. That's a conversion ratio in metrics. I'm talking about your style, Joey, where it's non-threatening. You're well educated. You can make a delivery and a pitch and do rebuttals. Those are bedside manner soft skills that you have.
Yeah. But that was also a long.
You're from Jersey, so the soft skills are a little less, but that's so. But you have to admit, you did pick up certain skills that made you more self-confident by making those sort of phone calls.
Yeah. Well, at the same time, I actually did some telemarketing here in Philly as well. And plus, I actually worked from home as a customer service rep.
Excellent. Okay, I can see
that kind of broke everything into what I'm working on with the casino bus service and even anything else I try to think about venturing to. But like I said, folks, if you watch these videos, in the ticker is the GoFundMe page. All donations help. It goes for the podcast. It does not go to me like people say, like those so-called friends say, because they think I'm going to take the money and go to Atlantic City. Yeah, it's going to Atlantic City, but it's not for me.
Them slot machines.
The
cash man.
Yeah, the cash man and
Joey Cashman Calvo. That's all. You know what's so funny about your last name? It means bald, but you got a great head of hair, so I don't think it's right.
You know what? The guest I had yesterday was actually from Spain. Yeah, she was a clinical psychologist, and she was from Spain. And what happened was I
called you out on it.
Well, no, she didn't call me out on it, but I kind of it just amazed me on it. She was a beautiful young lady, very beautiful, and she's she felt bad because what happened was this computer is acting up now. On top of it, that's why I keep saying in reference to the GoFundMe page of why I'm really doing it. This is why. This computer, as I'm looking at it, the bottom of the computer, and this is a Chromebook, okay? The bottom of this Chromebook is literally crack it open. So anything can get in and, it's already gone off on me once before Richard even came on.
Uh-oh.
So, it cut out in reference with her. And I had one of my relatives went to Spain and brought back a can of tuna fish in olive oil with the brand name Calvo on it. So I'm looking at the can right now as I'm talking to Richard. I'm looking at it, and I'm actually afraid to go over there and get it. But yes, my dad did tell me about how Calvo meant bald in Spanish.
Yeah.
But also my mother, who is Irish. Well, actually, I learned before my grandparents passed away on her side that they were also like Scottish, possibly I think Swedish even a little bit. So, but when I turn around and meet new people, I actually say this, and if people take offense to it, don't, because this is just me that I put this on in reference to it. But I call myself an Irish spick. Literally. I literally call myself an Irish spick because I'm half Irish, half Spanish in reference to it. But so you built a call center. You paid for everything, which is the first story in a while that that I've heard of people actually able to put an influx of money into their own dreams and really make out off of it. But of course, you had to hire on top of it. But you can't get around that. You have to hire people, have it operational to help you build your clientele and so in reference to clientele, how many associations do you work with in reference to your business?
Well, it really all depends, but currently we're looking about a dozen clients, 150 seats. So we're small, but we pack a punch.
Okay.
And we try to give that, I guess, really good attention that some people need. I I would love to be at thousands. I'd love to have hundreds of agents. Maybe just it's my natural growth stage.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
tell you what, post COVID, most of the labor pool prefers to work virtually. So the brick and mortar call center, especially the server room, which is
Yep.
now in the cloud,
Yep.
you can expand, like you're saying, your podcast globally. I could hire globally, but I still kind of want to hire the Costa Rican. I still like to contribute to this amazing country. And I think the labor pool's highly skilled, the bilingual aspect, close to the United States. People like to come visit. But it's different now, Joey.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people, once again, would rather have that virtual relationship compared to on-site hanging out with your buddy's energy.
Yeah, yeah. And in reference to this podcast, it is actually, like I said, it's on YouTube. We're live right now on YouTube as we're talking.
Cool.
It's also on Spotify. It's also on Apple. It's also on Google. It's also on,
Joey making the rounds.
Well, actually, that started back in 2009, though, with a platform called Anchor.fm. That's how this all got started, folks.
That's cool, man.
We started with Anchor.fm, and once the podcast got started, because it was all, the old-fashioned way of, everything was vocal. I had to use a phone to use, and my cell phone was my recording device back then because there was an app for it. Until 2024. Then Anchor was bought by Spotify, and then they turned around and they discontinued recording your podcast via the app on the phone. So when I started reaching out, when I started coming on podcastguests.com, where Richard came out of in reference to it, and I thank you, podcastguests.com. You're a great service. You're the only quote unquote free service right now, because there's another guest compiler called Matchmaker.fm. They went free until earlier this year, and then now they turn around and they charge you for it. And they still send me emails. Oh, there's guests that want to come on. When you go to check, there's nothing there. So it's like a waste of time now in reference to it. But, when Anchor.fm was around, and I was able to record it, that's when I started doing the YouTube through the platform that I used to, to reach out for the guests to come on the YouTube live stream. And I would record it, and, so the last podcast that you will see on Anchor.fm via Spotify is the one, it was recorded on YouTube, but it was recorded on the phone before they upgraded everything. So that's why I don't tell the guests it's not recorded anymore, because everything is live stream. Everything's now on YouTube. So, but people still go through, and we actually just expanded it to iHeartRadio. And I literally made an attempt to 2 networks, quote unquote networks. One was SiriusXM. I did reach out to SiriusXM. I reached out to their talent people, and I'm like, listen, here's this podcast. I'd like to bring it on SiriusXM. I'd like to make a channel out of it eventually. And, literally just be on the radio, and also, still do the live streams on YouTube. There's another local, he was a talent agent for many years. He just retired, but he started a network. And he actually has shows on his network with, believe it or not, Pat O'Brien, who used to be on CBS Sports and used to be on Entertainment Tonight and so on. And he actually just recently also had a former guest of this podcast. Now, he was also on E! He was also on Entertainment Tonight as well. But he now does game show hosting.
Hmm.
And he actually now does the Price is Right live stage show, traveling.
Cool.
And
One of my favorites.
Yeah, he'll be back in Atlantic City in October. And his name, believe it or not, Todd Newton.
Todd Newton. Yo,
Yeah.
Joey, do you remember the old Barker beauties from The Price is Right?
Yes, I do.
Oh, my favorite, Kathleen Bradley, Mrs. Parker from Friday, the most beautiful Barker beauty.
Yes, and now since Drew Carey, I actually, believe it or not, speaking of Barker beauties, I actually attempted to get one of the newer ones on the Drew side by the name of Alexis Gaub.
Okay.
Unfortunately, she was not. Her agent said she was not interested.
That's a shame.
And believe me, I was upset because I was like, she's oh God, it would have been a fun conversation.
They're stunning. They leave you smitten,
Yeah. I mean, there's matter of fact, when I mentioned about how I'm doing a GoFundMe for the meet and greets.
Yes, you did.
One of the former guests that I literally want to have, has been on this podcast. Is in the live, and when you see me talk to this person, I could not stop looking at her. She just celebrated 20 years of being in the adult industry. And so I turned around and I threw the best thing at her, and she took one look at me when I said it, and she was like, "Oh," I said, I made her feel like that she started it when she was a baby.
Yeah, Joey.
Yeah, so I turned around, and her name is Liz River. So she has a loyal fans account. She is, and as of right now, if the money was raised and this meet and greet happened and everything went right, Liz River was interested in coming.
Yeah, Joey. Pick her up in the limo, hanging out with Liz River. You gotta be kidding.
Actually, no. That's not how I would have done it.
No, tell me what's your way?
So
what's the move?
What would have happened? And this is how it will happen, folks. So yes,
what's the plan, Joey? What's your plan?
Here's my trade secret. What the money is being raised for the meet and greet is actually this: we're paying the airfare for the guests that come to Atlantic City. We are staying 5 nights, which gives them a Wednesday and a Thursday, quote unquote, press day. The actual meet and greet would be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Of course. At
the Claridge Hotel in Atlantic City.
There you go.
And the guests, I'm not going to tell you what type of room that I looked into for them, but I would say the guests would probably not want to leave the room after what they see, what they would get as accommodations for 5 days. Of course, they would be compensated for their time for coming down. Like couple 4-digit, I'll say 4-digit figure. I'm not going to say how much exactly.
Right.
Plus, they would be compensated for meals, and they would bring whatever they want to. If they want to autograph pictures, they bring their own pictures. And they can sell them at their own price. So the only thing I literally did was I just booked a room for them to meet in. And I just, and of course security, make sure they were secure.
But what about yourself, man? You're a big boy, Joey. Don't you want to protect Lisa Rivers the whole time and be by her side?
It's Liz, not Lisa.
Oh, sorry.
Liz. That's right.
I don't watch porn. Sorry.
No, I would be in there and say, hey, make sure you stay in line, enjoy yourselves, try to keep the lines moving, because I'm charging them like $60 to go in to see them, first of all, before they even walk through the door to pay them.
Fair. That's very fair.
Yep. And then once they walk in the door, then, of course, they would, purchase the ticket. Now, another one, and of course, with Michael and I, it's going to show our age. Wonder Woman back in the 70s.
Linda Carter, of course I do.
Okay. Well, I kind of had a friend who is, believe it or not only this podcast supporter,
mm-hmm.
she is this podcast's #1 fan. She used to actually, give me a moment. She actually used to provide questions when I didn't have any. And she, how earlier I mentioned about what a friend should be?
Yeah, someone that spends time with you once a month.
Yeah, well, but how you answered that question? You made that, you made the statement of you couldn't,
made my argument. That's all.
You made your argument.
Like you selling, subscriptions for the magazines. You need your rebuttals, Joey. But keep going.
Yeah, but so how I said I gave passes. Well,
yeah.
I'm going to introduce you to the pass that I had.
Okay.
And she is, like I said, #1 fan, #1 supporter. She is a real-life superheroine like Wonder Woman. And her name is American Fox. So give it a minute. She'll pop up on the screen.
There you go.
This is American Fox.
Yes, it is.
Yes. And she can be reached out on Instagram and on Twitter. It's in the description, folks. This is the best friend you really would have because she has great wisdom. She is supremely kind, and she's very generous with the heart. What really happened in reference to our friendship was, and I'm going to throw this out because this is something that was kind of new back then. And now, you know how people say they don't want relationships, they want friends with benefits?
Some do. But keep going. Yeah.
Well,
they want to keep their pimp hand strong.
Yeah. Well,
like Iceberg Slim.
Yeah. Well, in reference to friends with benefits, this is what I wanted. And that's why, because of what I wanted, it fell apart. And
Joey. Dude, you got to treat her like a lady. Look at her. That's not just a one and a done. You gotta go slow on her. You're talking about Wonder Woman.
Richard, I did.
You guys in Jersey, you go way too fast. You got to be cool.
Thank you.
I mean, it's good in some instances, but you're talking about a Division I woman there. Come on, Joey, you know better than that.
Division I? Yeah, you could say that. I mean, she is the greatest. She really, like I said, if you really want a real friend, that's who you really want to be friends with, because she could. There's a lot you could chat with her about in reference to superheroines, and we both are big fans of Linda Carter Wonder Woman, believe it or not. But she actually is a real life superheroine. She actually does fight crime.
Yeah.
She is American Fox 24/7. If Liz River came on the meet and greet, American Fox was going to come with her.
Joey, could you imagine walking in, arm on each, in your nice three-piece suit, looking good?
Again,
Joey.
Nope. I literally would stand back and just watch everybody have a great time. I literally would just stand back and watch. And yes, she even got upset when she said something like what you just said. Like, you need to. Yeah, of course I got to be there.
You could have had your red carpet moment with them, right? That's what I'm
That
saying.
would have been the press day.
You set the whole thing up. You need to have at least your 15 seconds of fame.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I would be there for the press day.
All the guys get jealous of my man Joey.
Yeah. But in reference to the actual meet and greet, it's all about them.
That's different.
It's not about me.
But protect the women, you know what I mean?
Well, that's
making sure people are polite.
Yeah, that's what the security is. And first of all, I do need to apologize. We got over the hour, not even realizing it. But really, in actuality, to this is what I really wanted to do, folks. This is really what I wanted to do. This is more for the viewers and the followers and those that watch these YouTube videos. This doesn't benefit me at all. The only thing it benefits out of me is, I get to bring them down. I get to see them. But I don't expect anything to happen with me in reference to it.
Yeah, you do. Come on. At 3 in the morning when you're dancing, listen to Stevie B on the dance floor. Come on. You know it's going to happen.
No, actually, I'm into smooth jazz.
Once part of your body hits, it's got to be done.
Richard, I'm into smooth jazz. And I actually have someone who has been on this podcast twice. He's a smooth jazz guitarist, and his name is Eric Essix. And he just came out with a new CD. So, yeah, he's even getting a plug today, too.
That's cool.
And also, I'm gonna do a quick retrospect.
Okay.
I'm going to date you back to the 70s and 80s. I'm going to date you back to the New York Rangers. I'm going to date you back to a model who doesn't actually like to be called a supermodel, even to this day. She actually was in Howard Stern's movie Private Parts as a receptionist.
Great movie. Baba Booey.
Okay. Yeah. Now, she was also in a TV show with Hulk Hogan.
That's another. I'm a huge fan of the Hulkster as well. Yeah, he's the man.
Do you remember the show Tropic Thunder?
It sounds familiar. Was it after like Magnum PI or something?
Yeah. Yes. It was a syndicated show. It didn't last long.
Yeah.
I'm talking about model Carol Alt. She has been on this podcast. She's actually on the audio version, though. She's not in the video. We actually attempted to do an Instagram Live, but when we did that in the recording, it only did a half hour at the time. But I am actually still friends with Carol Alt, even after all these years. And I actually want to announce that she just got 1 million followers on Instagram and Twitter.
That's amazing.
So congratulations to her.
Oh, yeah.
She is now I've given her a pass as well, but I also have to understand that pass. She's a model. She actually still acts in Italy. She does movies in Italy now. Or still.
Oh, she's aging so well, of course.
Yeah,
and what talent.
Oh, God. Go to modelcarolalt.com or even go to her Instagram page.
Mm-hmm.
She looks amazing for her age. And I remind her that almost every day. Same thing what I used to tell American Fox.
Classy ladies.
Yeah, they're all classy.
Mm-hmm.
But I know it would take me much more than 4 digits to get Carol Alt to come to Atlantic City. Okay? Especially through her PR.
I got you.
Yeah, so but she, when her PR had her come on, I was amazed. I couldn't believe it. She was like the first real celebrity I really had.
Well, she's real.
Yeah.
These people can relate to everybody, you know?
And she literally, we actually do talk once in a while.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I mean, literally, it's in the ticker. Go to modelcarolalt.com. Follow her on Instagram. Follow her on Twitter. She loves hearing everything, and I did actually tell her. Okay, I actually did tell her, no lie, that she will always be a truly sexy Wonder Woman to me, always and forever. And she was like, yeah, like Linda. I said, yeah, like Linda Carter. Yes, I said like that. But she, believe me, she is like another big supporter of this podcast. I mean, she doesn't get the opportunity to watch these, or if she does, she doesn't tell me. But she knows.
I'm sure when you mention her, she'll probably listen to make sure people are saying nice things about her behind her back. I hope your audience is taking notes. You're giving some really good one-liners, Joey.
Yeah. Like, definitely follow American Fox. Another. I've had cosplayers on here even.
Okay.
There's another. I've started to call her a real life superheroine now too, even though she is really a cosplayer. And it's not in the ticker, but it's in the description. She is from Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas, and she cosplays as Wonder Woman. But not only does she does Wonder Woman, she also does a Wonder Woman mermaid. She does every version of Wonder Woman. But she also does Captain Marvel. She does other cosplays besides that. So
sounds like fun. I think Joey might have frozen up. There you go, Joey. You're telling me about your...
Yeah. Yep, we're back. I do apologize. This is what I'm talking about, folks. This Chromebook just went out on me. Really. Just went out.
Well, we're one for one then. Me and
you. Yeah. So this is why, folks, I'm saying, this is why I'm doing these GoFundMe. This is why I can't support, wanting to get a new Chromebook to do these podcasts with, and upgrading it, because, like I said, it just went out, and like I said, in reference to Dallas-Fort Worth Wonder Woman, you find her on Instagram and on Threads at DFW Wonder Woman. She's also a great friend to have as well. And I've been attempting to get her on the podcast as well.
Okay.
So Richard, how can people reach out to you and very quickly?
I always suggest buying a plane ticket and flying to Costa Rica. We're only a couple hours from Miami. And so, but also if you want to check me out, CostaRicasCallCenter.com. And Joey, I can't thank you enough. I had a great time today. Yep. You're a good man. Yep. The fact that you share things about yourself, it's only to elevate others, because we're learning from your example, my man. I think you're doing great. And Wonder Woman, obviously we know which is your favorite character. So good for you, Joey.
Especially season 1. And actually,
you're the best, dude. You really are the best.
Season 1 into season 2 halfway.
Any specific episodes your favorite? Anyone really stands out?
Oh God.
Put him on the spot. Look at Joey. He can't answer this one question. Come on, Joey. Which is your favorite episode?
Because it's all season 1 and into season 2. It's all the hair fall and transformations That's really the thing. And one thing I will say in reference to American Fox, one thing in our friendship that we had, like I said, we're both fans of Linda Carter. We both follow. There's a Colombian Wonder Woman, believe it or not.
That's great.
Who actually is on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, YouTube. She actually has her YouTube videos. Every Saturday, she does an actual storyline. And some of it goes back to the Wonder Woman series with Linda Carter. Some become original off of it. She'll take some of the variations of it and make original stories of it. And her name is Linda Carter Cosplayer. So you definitely want to follow her as well on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc. She takes Linda Carter and really expands Linda Carter out from the 70s into today's world. And like I said, when she does these videos on Saturday on YouTube, and she posts them on Instagram first and Twitter before she puts them on YouTube. But when she does them, they're always amazing. And she really has the costumes. The costumes are actually made out towards the original versions, the Linda Carter versions.
With the hot pants.
Yes. With the satin tights and everything. Everything is almost to detail.
Legendary.
Yeah.
It should be.
She does a great version of Linda Carter of it. And her actual name is actually Linda Carter Cosplayer.
Homage. What else can you do?
Yeah. She's like American Fox. She doesn't have a secret identity.
Do you have a favorite out of all of your Wonder Women? If you had to rank them, who's number one and number two? Who's QB1? Who's QB1 Wonder Woman?
All right, here we go.
Had to ask.
You had to ask, and here we go.
And your audience wants to know.
I know I might get upset hearing one.
Damn, Joey, you're going to break some hearts right now. You got to say it.
Well, I will say that, this person would agree. I think all would agree that Linda Carter would always be the best Wonder Woman. Okay?
Well, people argue against Sean Connery and Roger Moore, of course, for Bond.
Yeah. But in reference to outside of that, and in 2025.
Okay. It's all fair game.
Yeah. It's actually a two-way tie.
Let me put it this way. Whoever you say is number one, you have the best chance of friends with benefits. So make this answer very, very carefully, okay?
Well, like I said, it's a tie.
Tell me.
It's between American Fox and Linda Carter Cosplayer. Now, I know with Linda Carter Cosplayer, I have to go out to Colombia to see her in reference to it. But in reference to American Fox, like if the meet and greet was to happen, and I got someone, even if it wasn't Liz River, to come, she would come and actually autograph for you.
Oh, by the way, let me apologize for Liz River for calling her Lisa earlier. I'll make sure to research Liz River and make sure I know who I'm talking about next time.
Yeah, she's on Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Facebook. She's under Liz River Model in reference to that.
Joey, you know the best people. Really, it's unbelievable, your network of friends.
Well, I'm going to throw you another zinger.
Please do. I mean, I'm getting impressed.
Right, so, let me finish up this list.
Keep on going.
Okay. So, correction. I got to make it a three-way tie.
I'm having the best time. This is great.
No, actually, American Fox.
Yeah.
Linda Carter Cosplayer and Carol All.
Thank you.
Even though.
Just squeeze that out of you.
Yeah. Well, no, correction. Every time I'm turning around, I'm actually I'm adding more.
Right, Joey.
I got to add Liz River to that. So it's a four-way tie. Because Liz River actually does Wonder Woman videos in reference to
This
adult
is
entertainment.
fantastic. Really?
And then,
this is
And
fantastic.
then DFW Wonder Woman is number 5. 5/6.
Wow.
But
The DF got 5th place, huh?
yes, in reference
Is
to
there anything DF can do to improve herself so she might be able to rank a little higher with Joey's crew? As a suggestion, of course.
No. There's
It's
not.
just how it is.
Yeah,
That's how the ball bounces for her. Okay.
Well,
5th place DF.
No, I'm not saying it's out of the ballpark. I'm not. The invitation's been out to her to come on this podcast. We've been talking about it off and on, but she's been busy. And, I started to understand. So I kind of gave up, saying, hey, let me know when you're ready, So,
No, be persistent, my man. Every 3 months is not bad. Wishing Merry Christmas and New Year's is fine.
Oh, yeah. No, I do.
Just to keep it out there.
No, it's not that I don't stop.
Do you know her birthday? You can wish her a happy birthday.
No, I will say this.
That's a classy move.
I will say this. It's actually in the newsletter. And yes, we have a newsletter as well. It's lifewithjoeycalvo.beehiiv.com.
Okay.
In the newsletter, 2 weeks from tomorrow, on the 4th of July, is actually American Fox's birthday.
There you go. What are you going to do, Joey? How are you going to separate yourself from the other guys courting her?
No.
What's your move?
None.
I mean, we spoke about your car, Cavaricci's, and your bows.
No.
What else are you going to do?
No. I actually posted it in the newsletter. I posted an early happy birthday to her.
That's my man. Well done, Joey.
Yeah, it's in the newsletter in reference to it. So, and of course, in the description, it's in there where you can find her and DFW Wonder Woman and Eric Essix and Carol All. But I actually remember Blue Bloods? Remember Tom Selleck, of course? You mentioned Magnum before.
That's right.
Well, in the show Blue Bloods, Tom Selleck had a deputy commissioner by the name of Garrett. Well, he is portrayed by actor Gregory Jabara. Gregory Jabara has been on this podcast. And the day that Gregory Jabara was on this podcast, not only did he mention how much he loved Michigan State, University of Michigan Wolverines, it was the day that William Shatner went to space. And we stayed on YouTube almost as long as this. And we were watching William Shatner literally going up in space, and we were talking about it as we were watching it.
Kirk finally made it.
Yeah.
Didn't they blow Scotty into space when he died? Didn't they put his ashes into space?
I don't remember offhand.
That's cool if he did anyway. I like Scotty.
Yeah. But in reference to that, Gregory Jabbar has been on recently. Like I said, Matthew Lesko, Carol Alt was in the beginning, Eric Essix. One thing about Eric Essix that I'm going, not only does he have a CD out, he has a photo gallery out. It's in the description, folks. But he also remade the single Ain't No Sunshine with the one and only Ruben Studdard from American Idol.
Well, Joey.
And in the podcast that we did, I did it in 22 with Eric. And you need to watch that one, folks, because he tells the story on how he met Ruben Studdard. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to give it away. Okay? But I will definitely say that, yes, you really want to check out American Fox. You really want to check out DFW Wonder Woman. You really want to check out Carol Alt. You really want to check out a lot of other people that I've mentioned in this podcast. I'm not saying it because, I'm not the one that would be the interesting person. But these people have more to go on in reference to wisdom and future than I kind of look at. Okay.
Definitely.
I'm not saying I have the greatest future coming. Okay. But I think in my own words, and when I did that friend's podcast, and I'd done that was about almost 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
When I said, and I said that because I was just getting tired, because I'm always, when I go to places like Atlantic City, I'm just getting tired of being alone. That's what it is. It's more of why I say the physical thing. I mean, I'm not expecting, I mean, if American Fox could have traveled up to Philadelphia once, I was happy. Okay? If Dallas Fort Worth Wonder Woman all of a sudden said, you know what, Joey, I'm going to come see you in Atlantic City. I'm going to come hang out with you for a day, which would be a dream, just like with American Fox. But I stopped expecting things. I literally stopped expecting things. So I got to the point now where I've literally just left it to God. God's kept the door open with American Fox, just to let you know, folks. I've attempted to shut that door. And every time I've attempted to shut that door, God's like, we're keeping it open for a reason. And there's times I learn that reason, but at the same time, it's not the reasoning. You know how Richard has been saying, you know, it's great to share my stuff, and people saying I shouldn't be sharing my stuff. Well, this is kind of why I go too far on some things.
It's your show. It's therapeutic.
But yeah, you know, a psychiatrist actually said that to me, that my podcasts were therapy.
Joey, can I make one suggestion? Sure. I have to. Yeah. One of the greatest gifts you could ever do is to love your own company.
Yeah.
That's the core. That's where it begins, because once you have that balance, then these women will come, these Wonder Women. And no, seriously, Joe, it might help you relax your mind a little bit, because you are a nice guy. You're fun.
I know.
And as I say, most people can't sit in a room for 15 minutes in just silence. And so, as I say before, I'm listening to you, and I do know that through karma, through your energy, or whatever you're doing, it's going to come. Yeah. Just don't ever force the fit. But secondly, my dear brother, you got to just take some good deep breaths. And just make sure that when you are with your own time, that it's not just you. Why don't you just look around, enjoy the sights and the sounds and the smells of the ocean? And as I'm saying, brother, you're going to find your. I tell you what, Joey, I'm going to say this. Guys like Albert Einstein, they were able to crack codes when they were by themselves. They can decompress. That's when the mind wanders. Yeah. When you have that alone time, that's when you'll get your best ideas, Joey. So don't always try to have company when it's not necessary.
Yeah, and like I said, I attempted in reference to if you went on my Instagram at Life of Joey Calvo, I actually did an Instagram live, I did a Facebook live, and I actually did a Twitter live on this past Saturday, because I actually was in Atlantic City, or not Saturday, last Friday, matter of fact. I was either Thursday or Friday last week. I was in Atlantic City, and I was staying at Caesars. Matter of fact.
Oh yeah.
I had a comp room, a free room. I just had to pay the the resort fees, of course.
And the bellhop, of course. You always got to slip him a good 20 spot. But
nah. I had my own luggage.
Okay.
Yeah. But, I mean, I had a side view of the ocean, and, you know, I mean, it was a decent room. Don't get me wrong. And I did my podcast from it. So last Wednesday and Thursday, the 11th and 12th, the ones that I did with Dr. Asia Taylor and Jordan Nicole, those were actually done in Caesars, Atlantic City. I did them from the room. So you got to go into the live version, folks, to see these. So, and like I said, in reference to American Fox, American Fox is in the live videos as well.
The door is still open, isn't it, Joey?
The door is still open, but God's keeping it open, not me. So,
Joey.
But I keep walking away from that door because, again, of what I wanted. What I wasn't looking at what other. I'm not saying I wasn't looking at what other people want. I did.
Joey, you're a big boy. Don't you hit the gym at all? Don't you meet girls at World's Gym?
I used to go to the gym until I was diagnosed with diabetes. And because I also lost my job recently at Amazon, I don't go to the gym.
Okay.
So, and because of that, I ballooned out too. So I've also become my own worst enemy in reference to it.
Don't forget the gym.
Yeah,
that's core. You got to always go outside, walk. You can do some push-ups.
I do take my walks, but when I do take my walks now, it's McDonald's.
Hi, Joey. Come on. And you got to make sure to stretch in the mornings and evenings. Take a lot of water. Brother, these are the sort of things that will reduce your stress. You know that, Joey. I don't want to be grilling like your pops, but this is the sort of thing. This is a Philly thing. I guess they don't do this in Jersey.
Yeah. It's a Philly thing. In Jersey, it'll be a whole different story. Because
we're shore ready. Don't kid yourself. We'll be ripped for the We'll be ripped to go to your shore. Yeah.
And just to let you know, folks, I'm going to say it now. July 30th and 31st, any podcast that will happen will be done from Atlantic City, but they will not be done from Caesars. They will not be done from Bally's. They will not be done from Tropicana or Harrah's. For the first time, folks, it's going to be from resorts.
Ooh.
It's going to be from a resort to Atlantic City, okay? And I actually, in reference to, and yes, it's costing me more this time, a little bit more this time, in reference to the room because their resort fees are a little bit higher.
All right.
But it will be at resorts in Atlantic City, July 30th and 31st. Now, I will tell you now, July 31st, I have Wes Azadani. That will be at 4 o'clock Eastern time. As of right now, the original guest that I had for the 30th just postponed.
Mm-hmm.
So now that 30th is open as of right now. And when Richard reached out to me, he hit the mega blitz because I had a mega blitz of guests that through podcastguests.com filled out the little form, didn't want to come on the podcast. By the Thursday that this newsletter went out and it promoted the podcast, I had, no lie, over 100 people.
That's
incredible. It took me the whole weekend, before. And I had to cancel Atlantic City because I couldn't afford to do it. But I came across, as of right now, 2 to 3 publicists. Now, I will say one thing, and American Fox has been truly happy about this, because one thing I was about to do was I was about to give up on this podcast last month. Literally. Last month, by the end of last month, Richard wouldn't have been on if the podcast wasn't on podcastguests.com. I will literally say that. I came across when that, like you said, when that email went out with the newsletter, and I had, no lie, 100 people listed. 3 of them are publicists. One of those 3 has so many, and he does authors. Richard, this podcast is booked literally Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays until March of 2026. That's how crazy this is the mega blitz I was talking about. So when Richard got to me, I was like, like, thank God he got in before the Mega Blitz really happened.
First I made the cut, which is good. You didn't accept everybody, Joey. Yeah. Come on.
I was doing everything possible too.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
I turned around. Yes, and I went above and beyond. So I started to open up Fridays during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And when I opened up Fridays during the summer, that got booked. So I'm booked straight until, in reference to summer. Matter of fact, I have a J-pop sensation tomorrow night live at 7 o'clock Eastern time. So you really want to watch that one.
Enjoy.
I know there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of kids watching it. So
yeah, you're smart. Good demographic.
I gotta watch that one because it's Olivia Millen. And
I have no idea who that is.
She's the number one J-pop sensation in the U.S. and UK. She will be on this podcast tomorrow. I actually know someone at TMZ. I actually got to know a producer at TMZ, and I tried to get her on the podcast, but because of contract, she can't come on. So I understood why.
That makes sense.
But I turned around and I told her, I said, listen, I don't know if you know this person, but I have this J-pop sensation coming on this podcast tomorrow night. And I invited her to come onto the lot to watch come on the YouTube channel itself, not the live stream, but onto the live stream, but through the channel, not through the link I would send.
Mm-hmm.
And so who knows? TMZ could be on this podcast tomorrow night asking questions. But I have podcasts for Fridays straight until September 12th on Fridays. So that's the summer. Now the meet and greet, if it happens, is the week after. This is the tentative dates that I wanted to do, was September 17th to September the 22nd. The meet and greet itself would be Friday the 19th, 20th, and 21st, okay, of September. So if for all you fans that get to know Richard and want to support this podcast and really want to support the meet and greet, go to the link in the ticker, and if you want like a Liz River, if you want an American Fox to come to Atlantic City and sign autographs in front of you, and you want to pay the $60 to come see them in person, and then pay the extra whatever they want to charge for their autographs or their photographs, their selfies with you and so on, then go to the GoFundMe page and donate, because everything that is going into that GoFundMe page is what I said it's going to do. It's going to upgrade the equipment, have a new computer that we can do these podcasts on. Maybe even do a new studio, quote unquote.
There you go.
Because
good idea, Joey.
Yeah, because in Philly, believe it or not, in Center City, I've walked by an actual studio that was actually interesting, and I actually would look into it and do it from there. But at the same time, I also want to expand it to like a news media site, like News Nation, and I do know somebody who works at News Nation. I know somebody who is a reporter, and she's been on this podcast even. Mm-hmm. And matter of fact, it was around COVID when that happened, when she was on, and I had just caught COVID in 22, and I was actually a quote unquote guinea pig for the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. I actually didn't get COVID until 22. That's when the vaccines wore off on me in reference to it. They lasted a little over a year, and so they were worth it. So make a long story short, she is a beat reporter for News 12 New Jersey, but she also has her own agency where she does media production and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She's been on the podcast. In reference to the meet and greet, she is one of those people I'd love to have down there interviewing not just me, but American Fox and a Liz River, or I even had April Brucker, who is remember Waylon Flowers and Madam back in the day?
What was that again?
Waylon Flowers and Madam.
No,
Madam was the puppet.
Oh, I understand. Okay, yeah. Gotcha.
Well, April was on this podcast in September of last year, and this was before I started calling October, literally.
Okay.
But in that live podcast that we did, watch May Wilson, who is the I really shouldn't say puppet anymore, and I'm sorry, May, that I said it. But I forgot what we called what they are. But they are considered American, just like cloth American, we'll say. All right, so you will actually see May Wilson hitting on me, want me to come to Las Vegas to see her, and we thought about it. We had thought about it. But April was a great guest. I'd like to bring her over here as well. And I have reached out, and her people are interested as well. It's a backup. I mean, I have a couple other backups. But definitely, if I got a headliner, American Fox may still come, even though we're not friends. She may still come. Mm-hmm. And I think if she comes, I think she's doing this because of me, not because of herself. I'm doing it so that way she can, she doesn't like to get recognition the way I've been doing it. I kind of make her feel bad when I give her all this recognition. Okay. She kind of likes to be behind the scenes, she likes to be like Batman in a way, inconspicuous. But unfortunately, when it comes to me, she appreciates it. I'll tell you, she appreciates when she gets promoted. She does. She will smile up and down and thank me up and down. But if you want to see her in person and meet up with her and get her autograph and maybe take a picture with her, I would be careful about anything else in reference to it, because she is a real life superheroine, and security can only control so much in reference to it. Okay, go to the GoFundMe page and donate, because again, this is the only thing that benefits out of me is they come down, they do this meet and greet, they make money on the side, for coming down. And, they get to enjoy a day and a half in Atlantic City on their own. Or in American Fox's case, it's something different. I can't say what it will be. But it has nothing to do with me, folks. I will state that. And I will just, watch them enjoy themselves. And, because it's more them than me. To be honest, when I started this podcast, this was a hobby. Okay? And yeah, because I'm no longer working, and yes, I've been attempting to work, and I've had the constructive criticism of, oh, you should be out there working and stuff. Well, you don't know my health issues. I almost had a heart attack on my birthday. And yes, I share my birthday with Elton John and the late Aretha Franklin, which is March 25th. Okay? I almost had a heart attack on my birthday. Okay? And I mean, I got to see, and there is someone else in my life that, yes, I did get to see for my birthday. So, with that person, yes, I was happy. But it's like I said, and like Richard's standing up for me and telling me being alone is okay. But in my own mind, no, it's not.
You might not have a choice, though, Joey. You might have to walk alone sometimes.
Oh no! I've gotten used to that. Is what I'm saying. I've gotten used to walking alone. Yeah, I've gotten used to walking. But I'm just never fully. Joel Osteen actually says there's 80% of you that's really there. Okay, you're always looking for that other 20% to make it complete, and you'll never find that other 20%. Okay, and I stress to that. But I've also had friends, and yes, I had to put them in quotes, that would literally tell me what to do. They weren't support. They were like, "You're doing this, 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 this." I'm like, well, what about what I want to do? No, and this showed proof. I actually went to a all-year reunion, which included my class in 1989. And because of my health, because I ballooned out, and now with the diabetes and everything, I attempt to eat healthy, but it's hard because I'm not in a place where I have a kitchen and so on. But I went to this all-year reunion. I was happy to see people, but I drink wine. I drink White Zinfandel wine only because of my health, and that I know that I can't go all off the wall on. Do you think I had Richard? Do you think I had a glass of wine that night?
Wasn't there? Let me think. Maybe not, because I think you just wanted to be the sharpest with these people, right, and not have that influence. Is that correct?
I was stupid enough. Okay, I'm going to literally say it. I was gullible enough. They were ordering my drinks.
Mm-hmm.
And all I kept saying is all I wanted was White Zinfandel wine because I would have been fine.
Right.
No. Well, they also knew I was taking a cab to the train station and so on. And I wasn't even staying that long because the last train from New Brunswick to go to Philadelphia left at like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, you can't leave that early. Come on, man.
So I didn't, I couldn't afford to stay in Somerset, believe me.
You couldn't crash at your buddy's place?
No. My family doesn't live in Somerset anymore. So that was another thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, and because of something that happened a long time ago, there's been a fallout in reference to it.
I'm sorry.
So that couldn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
So they ordered my drinks, and I wasn't really having a great time because I wasn't having what I wanted. I mean, yes, I was happy to see them. Yes, don't get me wrong. I'm happy to see them. When I see them physically, I'm happy to see them.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to what I want, let me decide what I want, please. Because if you're telling me you're going to order me a rum and coke, and I stop drinking, matter of fact, I will say the person that spent my birthday with me, when I first met them, okay, and when I was married, we used to carry on the side of the bed, literally, a 2-liter bottle of cherry Pepsi every night at bedtime. So if we got thirsty during the night, we were drinking cherry Pepsi.
Joey.
Wait a minute, Richard. There's a sensation that came up with this. In 2011, 2012, this person that I spent my birthday with for the past 2-3 years was started to become concerned about me, and things kind of started leading from that to the point where I quit drinking soda cold turkey. Okay. I have not had a can of soda in 13 years.
Wow.
Now, in reference to caffeine, yeah, and like pink lemonade or you know, raspberry lemonade, flavored lemonade, Wawa, you know, stuff like that. But that's as far as I go in reference to caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
But I will not touch a can of soda. Mm-mm. I've attempted, I've wanted to, I've thought about it. But I've been told I've been dehydrated a lot. So I keep attempting to get myself to drink water. I have a bottle of water by me for my meds, but I rarely touch it. I mean, I touch it sometimes, but I don't. It's not an every moment thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's more. It has to be the lemonade or the iced coffee, or something. Or
Mm-hmm.
well, not all the time wine. I don't drink wine at dinner. Okay, I'm not an alcoholic. I don't. Like I said, when I have the white Zinfandel wine, it's when I'm at the casino.
Joey, my brother, you can decide to do whatever you want to do in this life.
Yeah.
You're your own prince.
Yeah. But I will say this, and I thank you, and I thank all the guests that ever come on here and have given me advice on things. And yes, American Fox will get upset when she hears this statement that I listen, but I don't react to it. No, I'll react to it, but I don't take the action of it. So, Richard could give the greatest advice right now. Okay, and I'm listening. Yeah,
I'm just not going to hit the ball and drag Joey.
Right,
this is all you, brother.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is,
I won't get angry, but I might get disappointed in you if I see what you're doing.
Right.
I might call the balls and the strikes, Joey. But then again, we all got our own lives to lead, man.
Right, and that's why I kind of step back from everybody in reference to that.
Okay.
And you just hit it right on the head because everybody has their own life.
We got our own problems.
Yeah. American Fox has her crime fighting.
Yeah,
and a relationship would interfere with that. So I understood, but at the same time, it's like you can't. I mean, how can you not want someone like an American Fox to be around? Okay. I mean, yeah, she's long distance, but it's like there's times you really want to be with someone like an American Fox to where, yeah, but where you can spend that quality time in an undisclosed place. Okay, but in public, it becomes a target. And she's afraid of that target. And I completely understand that. I truly completely understand that. So that's kind of why I backed off. That was one reason. The other reason, like there was a movie out in 2008 with Justin Timberlake and Mila Kunis. And you hear it now. Matter of fact, Charlie Sheen even brought it out in an episode of Anger Management.
Okay.
Or Friends with Benefits.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I wanted. Was Friends with Benefits. And I pushed the envelope on it. And it got to the point where it was uncomfortable to some. And to others, it couldn't happen because, they were already involved with somebody else. So again, at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm going to step back. I'm going to leave this alone, and I'm just going to watch from the outside. So what I picked up growing up and being picked on in school and everything, and, being on the outside looking in, that's how I look at my life now. So that's why I'm at where I'm at now. Everybody could tell me everything in the world, and I could attempt to do it, but I wind up not because I will always self-sabotage myself in one way or another.
Maybe you might need to let go and make some new friends, Joey. Why don't you start from scratch now?
And I've done that, and that's one thing I will say with American Fox. I did.
Okay.
I did. I did, and I will say that she is, like I said, if I really had a true friend right now, it would have been her. Even though there's one piece of the puzzle that I wouldn't be happy with, and that, of course, the physical part. But I mean, like I said, I've given a pass for so long on it, and I can't keep the pass going forever, as much as I would love to. But again, folks, you want to see a meet and greet happen in Atlantic City? You know what to do.
That's right.
I can't stress that enough. I mean, I can only do so much. I mean, would I like to do this? Hell fucking yeah. I would love to have Liz River and American Fox come down to Atlantic City and literally, meet you all in person. And matter of fact, just to give you a heads up, if the meet and greet happened in September in Atlantic City, okay, Liz is coming back in October to be in Edison for Exotica, New Jersey. And that's supposed to happen late October. And she's even getting plugs with this, She's getting plugs with this as well. It's going to be at the Garden State Exhibit Center in Edison. She wanted me to come out, but I couldn't afford the $50 to come out there. Believe me, I wanted to go. I wanted to go. And if you see her, when you see the YouTube podcast we did, I could not stop thinking of how amazing she really is. And if anybody was to body shame her, I personally will tell you that you're a fucking asshole. Okay? If anybody was to ever put down Liz River, yeah, she's an adult entertainer. Yeah. I don't look at size. I never looked at size. I mean, my ex-wife was 5'4", 325 pounds. The girlfriend before her was
nicely done, Joey.
Yeah. The last girlfriend before her, before I got married.
Joey likes them big. A lot of guys like big women.
No. It's not that I didn't like them big. I didn't look at that. I
understand the depth of a woman, but some people enjoy that Soma type. That's the sort of body they enjoy. Joey likes them big. All right, did he freeze again? There you go, Joey.
So more time. Now I know when we get off this, when this podcast is officially over,
yes,
Richard's going to go out and he's going to turn around and he's going to say, you know what? Joey needs help. And this is the friend I would also appreciate too. Okay? Friends that really do support, and I'm not saying American Fox still doesn't do it. Okay? Even though we don't talk, but in reference to, she never would put out about the GoFundMe page only because she didn't have a lot of people to reach out to. I mean, mostly everybody that watches this YouTube video. I did a podcast with a young lady, to be quick, who was in Kuala Lumpur. Okay? I asked her to come on the podcast because she had this great singing voice. Very beautiful young lady. Would you believe she became the number one most watched YouTube video podcast ever? Okay. With 1,600 views within a month. Most of these podcasts that I do, Richard, I'm lucky if I get 100. And you want to know who did the 100 as of right now? Liz River. And that's after we did this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've also done some with other actors and so on. And other guests. Like yesterday. When I did the one with the Sylvia Subirana, and she's out of Spain. When we did that podcast, as of yesterday, as of today, normally I would get about 5-6 views. 23. But when I did the Friends one, and it has anything that has American Fox's picture coming up that gets posted, it shows on the YouTube channel when it comes to actually when they show a preview of it. Anything that shows American Fox usually gets about 30 views. At least 30.
At least
30. At least 30. Okay. But when things turn around, and I always say, listen, she talks to real people. Okay. Nobody goes to her and says, hi, let's chat, let me be that friend that you should have, etc. I mean, I'm like the most closest to a real person she talks to. Okay. And I feel, and it's like, I walked away from it, but again, it's not her, it's because of me and, my wants, needs, etc. It, like I said, wanting to be on the outside looking in because
Joey, aren't there some cute girls by the corner deli shop or at the mall? I mean, there's got to be there's some beautiful women in Jersey.
Okay. Wait a minute. No, remember, I'm in Philadelphia.
Oh, even better, even prettier girls in Philly.
Wait a minute. Let me say this again, Richard. You left this area.
Yeah, but I go back all the time for reunions and to see friends. They all age great.
Yeah. I mean, there is a barbecue. But right now I can't afford it, like I said, because I'm not working. Otherwise, I would go. And I've thought about it, but of course, this podcast kind of took over everything in reference to it because I'm practically booked solid almost every day.
Yeah.
Doing it. But in reference to Philadelphia, I will say this. I've said it to people. I actually attempted to go on some social, some of these social meeting sites, like social gather, my social calendar. I'm going to throw them under the bus right now, and here's why I'm going to throw them under the bus. I reached out to them 3 times, literally 3 times. They were supposed to schedule a call. We scheduled the call and everything. Do you think they called me, Richard?
Probably not.
No. No reason. No nothing. And
but don't you go to the supermarket? I mean, there's people all around the way.
I do that.
At the Wawa? I mean, come on.
No. Even when I go to Atlantic City, folks, I usually go late night because everybody's like, the casinos are probably emptied. So, yes, I just gave away my secret. So, if you're going to go to Atlantic City and go gambling, or if you're going to go gambling in any casino, yes, go between 2 and 6 in the morning because No one is in the casinos.
Joey, my boy, I think you just answered your own question.
Yeah.
Unless
But
there's more people there, you're not going to meet anybody.
right.
And then secondly, you got to
Yeah.
put a vibe out there. You got a great vibe.
You know
And you just got to play the odds like Mike Damone in Fast Times. Just play the odds.
And you know what? Now, if my classmates in school watched this and reached out to you, okay, they would tell you, yeah, I would do that. But I always got shot down very quickly. Very
how many people do you talk to? At least 100? Or do you stop at 4? I mean, come on.
I barely speak to anyone.
And Tone says, Joey, I mean, seriously, if you're giving yourself one bullet, you're not going to win a war. You got to get out there.
Yeah. Well, like I said, when I went to Atlantic City.
And you got game. I mean, so you know how to speak and you know how to listen. And so I think you'd be a great conversationalist. Come on, over some coffee.
I mean, American Fox could tell you that, hands down. American Fox could tell you almost everything that I've done.
So why can't we find Philly Fox or AC Fox?
Because there is.
Come on, they're everywhere, Joey. You know this.
They actually, if they're out there, they have.
When you go into the casino at 3 a.m, they're not out there. I mean, come on.
Actually, there are some.
Well,
but, and here's the but. Either they're with someone, or they're just like walking by. Now, like when I went on the beach last week and did those live Instagrams. Yeah, I was on the beach. Yeah, it was crowded, but I was almost to the where the pier shops are, where because they had the pier shops was right next to me, so I could have walked under. I mean, there was a lot of people, but as I was watching them, most of them were holding hands with their significant others and so on, and I'm like, this is why I just wasn't happy, because I kind of wish somebody was out there with me. And if somebody was out there with me, I wouldn't be at the slot machines at 3 a.m, to be honest. I'm not saying
why don't you scroll? Why don't you go check out the stores? When you're in a store, you look at a T-shirt. Another person's looking at a T-shirt, buying it for their daughter or granddaughter. You start talking. There's a lot of beautiful silver foxes out there, my man. Seriously,
I've attempted that too. Especially in the casinos. Especially sometimes when during the night, or there are sometimes I do wind up going in.
Do you throw on a sport jacket? Do you have nice shiny shoes? Are you looking sharp? What's going on?
Please, me in a sport jacket.
All I'm saying is sometimes people find that as a nice, strong first impression. I dressed up for your show today, Joey.
But like I said, I don't do that anymore.
Well, you might want to at least switch things up a little bit. Doing the same thing over again, and you're striking out. I mean.
Well, that's why I stopped doing it, because of that reasoning.
Yeah, but you have to realize something. This is the long game. Yeah. Why are you stopping on the second quarter of the football game or the second round of the fight? Seriously, this is the sort of... My brother, you're supposed to be like Chuck Wepner, if I'm not mistaken, is a Jersey boy who went the distance against Ali, the Bay Team bleeder. And so... I'm going to say this as a friend, and this is the way it is, black and white. And it's not...
Before you say it, American Fox, yes, what he's about to say is probably what you would say to me all the time.
First, you need to calm down, and secondly, the comment earlier, I'm not going to say you're crazy. I like the fact that you share things with people.
Yeah.
But the third is, carpe diem. We're all going to die tomorrow. Yeah. And so the most important thing for you to do today is to be bold and brave, Joey. Seriously, and I understand you don't have a kitchen and things are tough at the moment and you're out of work. Still doesn't mean you can't make your bed in the morning. No, seriously. No, I'm just giving you pointers, my man. Make sure the bathroom's clean. Show yourself self-respect. And if you do bring a fox back to your house, at least your bathroom's clean and your bedroom's clean. You got to be prepared in case you do bring people back.
Yeah, well,
but Joe, I'm just letting you know the deal.
Oh yeah. We talked about that. There was a thought of that if it happened, but
No, I'm asking if your bathroom's clean and you made your bed this morning. I'm calling you out. I want to make sure you did.
I could kind of say no.
Joey, that's what makes circles. That's what makes circles complete. That will help reduce your stress, my man, because you'll see.
Yeah,
you'll be able to look at yourself in the mirror and have that sort of, self-respect. I mean, it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
And I'm not here to change your life, but I'm just going to let you know the things that I can control.
Okay, right.
And that have allowed me to get first downs, to get these touchdowns.
Right. Just, like you would say, American Fox would say, any and the guests that have given me suggestions would say. I mean, I look at them. Don't get me wrong. I look at them. And then I turn around. I'm like, why? Because I'm just going to sabotage it later on. And sometimes it only takes it. I'll tell you, Richard, anytime I do attempt to implement anything, within a day, it's sabotaged. And I'm right back to where I'm at. So I'm like, why do I even bother?
What are you doing wrong, Joey? How are you sabotaging this
I just
within a day?
Yeah. I just find something, or something gets so comfortable that it just
Bro, you don't even know these people yet. They're putting on masks and being on their best behaviors. And so why don't you just take things at a certain pace to where you, once again, you just feel comfortable sitting with someone in silence, where you don't have to say anything. Joey, you'll know when it's right. Okay? And so as I'm saying, you listen, you told me about all these girlfriends and you had a wife, and so obviously people saw certain things in you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was called the wallet.
No, there's a lot more than that, Joey.
No.
Anybody can have money.
Well, the ex-wife, in reference to it, was the wallet. Everybody else.
I didn't know her very well, but
I'm just saying, in reference to the ex-wife, it was.
So let me ask you a crazy philosophical question. Right now, you're out of work, and it seems like you can't afford $50 to go to a barbecue. But do you still feel self-worth? Do you still feel good about yourself, or you have value? You should, because you're being tested. You're being tested right now.
Yeah.
You're going to see really your essence and how strong Joey can be during chaos. Do you have character, my brother? Can you, Joey, can you get through this? And I guess maybe to wrap up this podcast, because I do have a meeting to jump in, I do not want you to be hard on yourself. You need to love yourself, because if you can't love yourself, Joey's, no one's going to love you.
Right. And
okay?
Everybody says that, and I've been my own worst enemy in reference to self-worth. No
be your best ally if you really wanted to.
I've attempted that too. I've attempted every which way of being happy within myself, and again, I never feel it because it's not the 100% I want.
That's why you need private time, man. So you can have your white Zinfandel and you can take a walk by yourself, and have your private time.
Yeah, I get a lot of that too. And when I do that, I get upset because I'm like, well, why did I do this?
But Joey, I can't thank you enough, my brother. I hope we were able to make some strides and breakthroughs today.
Yeah. Well, believe me, some people will be happy that they got promoted on the podcast today. But thank you so much, Richard. I will send you an email with the actual video that you can put on your social media and so on.
Sweet. Remember, I get a pass, man, until I can make it up to Philly and Jersey. Don't hold my feet to the fire, all right?
I put the pass in for now, but like you said, in reference to holding it, I don't know how long I really want to hold it.
All right, my man.
That's within me. That's within me, though. Not because, like I said, in reference to American Fox, she'll wind up now getting a copy of this video, even though she would see it in the newsletter. But I will send her.
I'll definitely check her out. I'll let her know that I'll be a fan. I haven't seen what she's done before. Don't take it personal, but I'm going to definitely check out the American Fox who stole Joey's heart.
Yeah.
Joey's heart.
Oh, God. Yeah, tell her that. Yeah, tell her that.
Yeah, I'll definitely tell her that.
Yeah, tell her that. She'll come to me like, oh, my God, somebody told me this.
She's good to go. She knows what she's doing.
She would tell me. If someone did reach out to her, she would tell me if it came from the podcast. She would actually tell me that. And she would thank me for it.
Well, I'm not going to bother the American Fox.
Oh, no, do.
Just let her know I'm sending good vibes and just be nice to Joey. That's all.
Oh, she has been. She has.
Anyway.
It's me that hasn't been nice to Joey.
I understand. Joey, my brothers, I got to get rolling.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And thank you very much, everyone, for watching the Life with Joey Calvo podcast. God bless you all.
Take care, everybody.
Bye now.